Hello, everybody, and welcome to our nightcap of day one for Softball America Big Ten Media Days. It's been a terrific day so far, and I can't think of a better way than to round this out here tonight with Ohio State being our sixth team in day one of Media Days. And I'm fortunate enough to have alongside me head coach for the Buckeyes in her very first year, Coach 2K, which I just learned is how you're going by. Coach, congratulations. Welcome to the Big Ten. I know I speak on behalf of the entire conference. We're so excited to have you a part of this family.
Thank you. I am very, very excited. It's just, the standards that they have for the athletics here is what I look forward to.
And you look good in red. I love you repping the office behind you.
It's a power color. It's a power color.
It is. And you're very used to red, might I
Yeah.
add, as well. And I want to talk a little bit about kind of the transition that's been the last few months. Obviously, you came from a very successful Miami University program that you helped bring really to new heights. I mean, I have never seen a team be put on the map nationally the way your players were for their swings, their power numbers, and how I felt like it didn't matter to them if they were in a Power Five conference. They played with utmost confidence against the best teams in the country. Can you talk to me a little bit about just your time there and what that meant to you?
Yeah, I mean it's the school that gave me my first head job, right? Been an assistant for 16 years, so it always has a special part. And then obviously what we did there with the student athletes, they trusted me. I didn't have a starter transfer in 4 years, and I think that's a little accumulation of what they wanted to do together, and it just every year was building and building, and I don't think anyone could realize what was going to happen, but because they were together for 4 years, it blossomed into something that, I mean, the entire nation was seeing. So it my time there that season, something special. We'll never forget it. But it's something that, now we want to do even more.
Yeah. And the note that you just made about the transfers, that's important through any day and age, but especially in what we live in right now, where the transfer portal is so hot. NIL is becoming a big deal. So that's even more impressive, the fact that you cultivated that type of culture. And I want to put a little bit of numbers out there for people to really grasp what your team did last season. I mean, your 2024 squad hit 160 home runs. It's the second most in a single season in NCAA history ever. And we've had some really talented teams in the
Mhm.
sport. How do you do that?
I don't know. Don't ask me, because I just, like you said earlier, the confidence that it did not matter to them who they were facing, what the score was. They just had so much fun. And I think watching that team, they had so much fun playing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to cultivate here. Like, winning is a lot of fun, but you have to have fun playing the game, and everything else will translate, right?
Mhm.
Everybody works hard. Everybody talks about this, it talks about that. Everybody practices. But what are the little things that are just slightly different? And it's respecting their time, right? But then making them better on and off the field. And then them cultivating to having fun on the field. And you could see it, even if you watched us on TV, you could see it. And that's what I want to bring here, like how much fun this game is.
And I'm glad you brought up kind of that transition to where you are now, because when Ohio State announced that they were looking for a new head coach and then your name came up, I could not have thought of a more perfect fit, truthfully, because in playing against Ohio State myself and watching them for years in this conference, they've always had the players with the big bats. And
Mhm.
then you bring in somebody like you who has become the mastermind in terms of how to really cultivate power in the box. But I want to know from you specifically, why was Ohio State your perfect fit and really inspiring you to come here and to take over the reins?
Yeah, I think a few things. I wasn't gonna leave unless it was the perfect spot. It wasn't just for any job. So, and with the changing of college athletics, what school is there better to be at besides Ohio State? Every single person knows. I traveled the world, and I was in Thailand, and I was walking, and there was a guy with Ohio State, OH, and I say he was a sophomore here
Oh
at the
my God.
university, so like, this is what you want to do for athletics. This is where you want to be. Our football team just won a national championship. I mean, one of the hardest rows that it's ever been. And our men's soccer team was ranked number 1. So that is kind of what I was looking for, is how to get to the next level, not just off the field, but on the field. And that's what made this perfect. And it was only an hour and a half down the road.
And I think you come at, like you said, it's such an exciting time in the athletic department that you guys are having at Ohio State. But also, you're joining the conference who's also entering a new era in itself. So it almost feels like everybody's newbies in a
Yeah.
way. You're bringing in 3 new teams here for softball from the West Coast. Now we have West Coast, East Coast, Midwest. It really becomes in my opinion, one of the top conferences in the nation, because you have some of the best teams in the nation from all over. What has that experience been like for you, also knowing that you're going to be coaching it and having your players go up against people who are Women's Cultural Series contender at every single part of the country?
Yeah, it just elevates everybody, right? It elevates the entire conference. Does our conference have the most national championships now?
And it's funny, Penn State head coach also mentioned that she believes bringing on UCLA, Coach Clarissa, she's kind of
Yep.
shouted that out. And I think she's right. I've been meaning to fact check, but so
Yeah, I
thank you
think I think
both.
so too. And so that just elevates everybody, right? So no, it's an exciting time, because one of the most exciting thing about college athletics is the fact that you get to travel, right? You get to see other universities, and then with our conference, you kind of see the same universities. Well, now what's going to happen is the student athletes are going to experience a new area, right? Some might have never been to California, might have never been to Oregon or Washington, that have played. So it adds all those extra dynamics of what softball and college athletics can do for student athletes, right? Taking them to places they've never been. And so it's adding that, and then adding the softball aspect of Washington, Oregon, and UCLA, who are tremendous in their top tier. That's what we want to be. You got to play them. So it makes everyone better.
What was the message you had for the team coming in? Some of your very first few days, first messages to them about what you really wanted to cultivate at your time now at Ohio State?
So one of the things that I find very important is I had a really great college experience, both on and off the field. And the things that you're going to remember is off the field things, but you do remember on the field things. And I tell them that what inspires me to be here to coach is to get them to do things like that I experienced, winning championships, seeing their names called for regionals, like those things. Really, I want, because I know it's 4 years of their life, right? Make it their best 4 years. So we talked about that. I talked about how I'm going to teach them to be leaders, and that it's going to be a team that is going to be team led. Like, we want to teach you how to do things on the field and off the field. And all we are doing as coaches is to help navigate it. Right. I don't want to tell you everything that you need to do. Like, be innovative, be creative, because that's going to help you in the long run. So we talked about that. I talked about how I didn't watch any video, and I want a clean slate. You guys can try out for whatever position you want, and we'll go from there.
Wow.
And then, so we started with a little bit of that, and obviously introductions, who I am as a leader, expectations, things like that.
And you introduce yourself, and I love that you've allowed for this fresh start for every single person in that program and on that team. What have you learned about those group of women in the last few months?
Oh, the personalities are awesome. We have some that like talk a lot, and some that don't, and that's what makes it so awesome, is a bunch of personalities coming together and working. I've learned that they're hungry. They're hungry to learn, both on and off the field, and they have to figure out, like, they have to learn to make mistakes. Like, it's hard to call out a teammate, or, to be happy for a teammate. And so learning all of that, and seeing the progress from when I got here when school started in August to now. Oh, it's been awesome to see. We have great leaders helping the seniors with that, and seeing the transformation is been awesome, and learning like who they are.
That's always the best part,
Mhm.
is the personalities that a team holds. And as you guys are getting closer to opening game day, I'm sure the goals are small. It's win one game at a time. But if you can kind of even take a step back for a second, like what do you think this team is capable of, and what are even some of your goals, your team goals in year one?
So if we step back and look at it, I mean, you got to play one pitch at a time, one
Mhm.
game. You never know what's going to happen, right? Like what happened last season, there's no way. If someone told you, oh, I knew that was going to happen, they're lying,
Yeah.
right? What our expectations are, and that could change. So I think we're going to go one game at a time. What I will say, what our goal will always be, and what my team's goals will always be, is to lead the nation in doubles.
Hmm.
Um, we did that my very first year as a head coach. We had 116 doubles, and then it will translate later to whatever happens. But that is a team goal. It will always be a team goal to lead the nation in doubles.
And I would love to ask just a little bit about your hitting philosophy with that, because I mean, it's really great to put it up on the board as a goal, but I know that you're doing work with your hitters to help achieve that goal. So, kind of for coaches on here, younger players, like what's your philosophy you feel with hitting that's led to these double success, these home runs successes?
Hit the ball hard. But I mean, like the big you everybody's swing is different.
Mhm.
Everybody has there's the right way to swing, but everyone that has a different way to get to the right way. And that's what you have to figure out, right? Some people it takes 6 months, sometimes it's going to take a year, and you can't put the philosophy all in one, in this is little meeting, but it's the little progresses and to figure out. So we just want them to hit the ball, or hit the ball hard, hit the
Mhm.
ball hard, and to swing the bat.
Yeah.
I mean, swing the bat, give yourself 3 chances
Mhm.
to swing. And so there's a lot of things that we work on. And to swing, something we talk about is to swing what you can hit.
Mhm.
We don't really just what can you hit? Each person can hit something different. Don't swing at pitches you can't hit.
Yeah, I love it. Aggressive. It's a very freeing, I feel like, approach
Mhm.
too, that keeps the hitters loose. Coach, kind of as we're starting to wrap up our time, I do want to ask you if there's something you're most looking forward to this season in being your first at Ohio State, whether it's a home game, the first game of the year. What have you been thinking about?
Oh, that it starts next week? Oh, wow. I don't obviously there's exciting games on the schedule, but I tell our team that those games do not matter unless you take care of business at the beginning. But, Texas is coming. They're coming to Columbus, which, they were in the national championship last year. Uh, we obviously Michigan, which is a huge rival, they're going to be here, and then we're going down to Clearwater, right?
Mhm.
So, you got to face the best to show what that. So I'm excited about that, but I think the most important thing that I'm looking forward to in excitement is to see how the team and the girls, the women have transformed from when I got here in June to where they are going to be, starting in February, and then what it's going to be like in June. I think that's the most exciting thing, because it's the little things that matter, and we're the ones that are going to be able to see it because we see them every day.
Yeah. And I have two of your athletes who are about to come up, and Caitlin and Cami. And I would love if you could just touch on even your first few months with them, having them
Yeah.
athletes. I mean, very successful for the program over the years, and just the way now you've been able to watch them work firsthand.
Yeah. Well, so Cami is Ohio State softball. If you know anything about Ohio State softball, you know Cami. She is a big presence. She plays big. She what she says is what she does. I don't know anyone that doesn't like her, and you can always hear her. Like, she's always doing something, and I love it. She's in the community all the time. Like, it's awesome. So that's beyond softball. I know parents have come up to me of little kids and was like, I'm a Ohio State softball fan because of Cammie.
Wow.
So, and then Farley, who is probably one of the most athletic people I've ever coached. She is a little bit more on the even keeled personality. Like, you don't always hear her, but you always see what she's doing. She does things right all the time, asks great questions. And cool thing about her is she's a surfer. And so that's what she did this break. And everyone looks up to her, and both of them are on the leadership committee, and they lead very differently. And that's, how they're seniors, and they are made my transition easy.
Well, Coach Kumar, I don't think I could have introduced them any better than you just did. But before we get to them, I want to thank you again for your time here tonight, and also welcome you into the Big Ten. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it for you taking this time, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you this spring. And as we take off coaching, we add on the two of you lovely ladies. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hey.
Oh, thanks for having us.
I mean, were you not just blushing listening to Coach talk about you two? I mean, that was the sweetest thing.
Yeah, that was she's the best.
Can you talk to me about what these last few months have been like for you all? Obviously, seniors learning a new head coach, and just how that transition has went and how you guys are getting to know one another.
Yeah, so for me, basically, if I could just sum it up, I would just say it's been the biggest blessing. Like, having this coaching staff with this group of girls, like, there was a lot of uncertainty going into this year, obviously, with the coaching change, and we had a lot of people graduating. And there was just a lot of talk because we didn't know what was going to go on. And man, like, I just feel so grateful to be here with this team and this coaching staff. Like, it's really hard to put into words, like, the way that they're investing into us, not only as players, but as people, and the people that they bring in. Like, we have to do service hours this year. They bring in like a guy from the Marines, a guy from the Army to teach us toughness, to teach us leadership. Like, they're investing us so much as people that it's been amazing.
Yeah. I mean, to back that up, they're honestly the coaches that every athlete wants. Like, they're going to push you. They're going to raise standards. They're going to do anything that they need to make you better as an athlete and as a person on and off the field. So, I mean, to back it up, I'm just so grateful and blessed to have it for my senior year. I think we were both looking forward to this and what this year was going to bring. So excited to see where it's going to start in a week, how it's going to start. So.
I mean, there's no higher praise than what you both just said. And I love that you touched on the off the field stuff that this staff has brought in as well. You talked about community service. I would love to hear a little bit more about what that looks like for you guys as a team.
Yeah, so we have a group of girls that oversees it. And so we get to do 10 hours a semester. So just helping out in the community around us. Some of us have gone to homeless shelters, given out food, packed up clothing. I forget a couple other things girls have done, but it's honestly a blessing to see how many opportunities we have with our platform and where we are as student athletes to help other people. So.
Yeah, and the cool thing is we get to do a lot of these things together as a team. Like, most of our hours, we've all accumulated together, going out and just doing things that really matter, like giving back to people in a way that, like, we can't do on the field. So it's been really cool to do that with the girls on the team.
How much do you feel like those opportunities have just connected you with the community that you have there at Ohio State?
Just super connecting. And even like to make the girls that, like, I'm born and raised 25 minutes down the street. So like for me, like, this is my community, and knowing like I'm giving back, but also like being able to see girls like Farley who are from California, like also giving back to this community as well. Like, they've been here for 4 years. Like, this is a home for them too. Yeah. So like them giving back and like making this community feel bigger than just a school, I feel like has been huge.
Right, because you guys already attend a very big school, mind you. But it can be so easy to get in that athlete bubble and to really be able to go out and understand there's families. Like you said, Cammie, you've grown up 25 minutes from there, so you're very familiar with that. I have to ask you before we get into this team, Coach Kumar talked about the fact that you guys won a national championship in football. I want to know, were you guys watching? I've seen pictures of some of you on the field this fall, this season. Like, what was that environment like to just be a part of the student athlete body during the game?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Like, this is exactly why I came to Ohio State, was for the way that the community and the state rallies around the school. Like, I always wanted that. I always wanted a very traditional school, a lot of school spirit, like a huge college town. And it honestly just like brought that dream to life for me. And I mean, we've been so close all like our past 3 years, like just missing the final games. But to watch it surrounded by all the other students and like the joy that it brings, and it honestly inspires you to like, now it's like our turn. Now I want to get out there and like, now I want to make a difference and like have Ohio State's eyes on us.
Yeah, I mean, getting to do the whole like playoff run has just been insane. Watching them just go out there and attack and do their thing. And like, we watched the games, a lot of the games together as a team. There was one night we watched, a bunch of us watched it at Farley's. We got pizza. We walked outside to leave, and there's fireworks going off like everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh! I'm like, but because we had practice the next day, obviously, so like there's a lot of crazy people going on, but we were focused on what we needed to get
right.
done.
Going home, good night's sleep, great day of practice tomorrow. Very smart.
But I'm also really proud of a lot of the guys. I mean, we know a lot of them, and just like they're so humble. They're filled, like just seeing the way that they've proclaim like the gospel and just proud in their faith has been huge. Farley and I are big Christians, and we're pretty active in our faith. So seeing them take it to like the platform that they have, that's why I was the most proud of that team this year, honestly.
I would love for you guys to expand on that, because, you know, from somebody who I played again with a lot of faith myself, but I would love to know about how has that impacted just your game on the field, having that faith background, not only internally, but knowing that you have other girls on your team that you could turn to, even each other, and just really challenge each other to lean on your faith in moments of great glory, and also, you know, when the game gets hard as well.
Yeah, I think it's so amazing. Coming here has built my faith, and I honestly think a lot of it is to Cami. She went out and brought faith to our team. Like a bunch of girls were Christians, but we really came together and talked about it a lot, asked questions. And a lot of us go to a group called Cross Sports through Ohio State on Wednesday nights, which is where people share their testimonies. And it's an awesome way to connect with other student athletes that way. We have like 10 girls that come to church now. And then before each game, we all kneel on the line and pray, which it's a great way to release stress and then just give it all to God. And it's honestly been amazing to have like-minded people around you to be able to rely on and lean on, because you know what they're thinking and ways to help them out. But
yeah, I would just like that. Farley did a great job explaining that and everything. But like prayer, what she talked about praying, like that wasn't a part of the program until we got here our freshman year. And like that's something that when we leave and graduate, I hope that stays here forever. And like when people ask me what I'm proud of, like that's something I'm super proud of, because like that is like important to life. And just being able to connect with these girls, like there's things we talked about in our Bible study that we would have never known about each other, because it's not, you don't just throw those things out at practice or at conversations and stuff. And just being able to talk about such vulnerable things, and like knowing we're in the presence of God, but in the presence of our teammates, and like being able to connect on such a deep level and trust each other, like it's built us, it just really built us up and connected us a lot. And like it's been truly just amazing to go to church with these girls, start a Bible study with these girls, pray with these girls. Like it's really has meant so much more than like any game-winning thing could have really happened.
It's really special when you get to the point of your senior year and you can reflect on how far the program has gone since when you stepped on campus for the first time as bright-eyed first years, to as you're getting ready to really kind of make your stamp and your legacy within this last season. When you guys look at the way that you have helped this program grow, but also in ways that you want to continue to grow it in this last season, how do you hope to leave Ohio State and just the legacy you both want to have within this last year?
That's a great question. So I've like,
thanks.
I've thought about it a lot, and just like going through the years, obviously people graduate, things like that. And like the thing that I'm sure Farley can agree, just knowing the type of person that she is like, when I do graduate, I don't want to be missed because of my spot in the lineup or because of my plays at shortstop. Like, I want girls to miss playing with me because of who I am and how that impacted like their lives, not only as teammates, but as just a person that really genuinely cares about the people I play with. So I just hope like building those connections that will last further than obviously graduation, not being on team anymore. Like it sucks. Like when you're on a team, I mean, whether you like it or not, you're with the same people every hour of the day, basically throughout the week. And so like knowing and understanding that like we've lost really close friends that we were with who have graduated, and just like not taking any moment for granted with the group of girls that we have this year, especially for our last one, is kind of just like making the most of every moment I have with this team and this coaching staff too.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the same thing I was going to say. I want to be more remembered for the person I was, like on and off the field, and remembered by my teammates that way instead of what I've done, but who I was. And then also just want to go out this year and do things that have never been done before. I mean, I think we have a great opportunity this year. The conference is a lot better. So we've got a lot more challenges to face, which I think is fun and exciting. And so I'm just ready for this season and to leave an impact for our final year.
Going along with that real quick, I just want to add, she talked a lot about softball, which was great. There's like definitely a new standard that's been established this year, and being able to be a part of like a foundational block where we get to not only like enforce the standard, but we set the standard this year. Like being with this coaching staff, being on the leadership committee, being with this group of girls, like this year, like we really got to help establish a standard in this program that was missing in the years before, and just being a part of that and knowing like how much it was needed in this program, and seeing how crazy it is. Like everyone is completely bought in to what everything 2K says, to everything any of the coaches say. Like everyone's bought in because like she's so confident in herself. How can we not be confident in her? And like the way that she just cares about us so much more than as players. Like I already talked about all the like well-rounded areas she's trying to add, but I mean like it's been really cool to help establish a standard for our senior year.
Talk to me more about the standard and exactly like what you mean by it, because I know there's going to be a standard once you start playing games, and just in terms of how you guys want to win, how you guys want to compete. But I kind of love how you've talked about that you've already set a standard in fall and winter, and that's before you have any wins and losses to your name. So I want to know about what that looks like even on a day-to-day at a practice level.
Yeah, it's basically there's a bunch of different components to it that we've talked about. We've had a ton of leadership meetings with a great veteran. So he's taught us a lot, but a lot of tough conversations in there as well. But we basically, it's standards of who to be as a teammate, who to be as a player, how to support your teammates, and then to win. I mean, to be competitive, to want to win. We don't want anyone on the team that doesn't want to be there for the people next to them. People who are willing to fulfill roles they might not want to, but to push everyone around them to be better. You can add on to that a little bit.
Like the standard is like we're doing hard things. Like we've had boot camps, which are like Friday workouts, like insanely hard, like push your limits to see how tough you are. And then we had basically all break. We trained super hard to have this competition week, and it's hard. Like it's super hard stuff. And I just can't help but feel grateful that like everyone on the team has to do this hard stuff. It's not an option. And not only does everyone on this team have to do it, but everyone wants to do it. Mm-hmm. Like whether we joke around about it or not, like the way that the positivity this year is just like insane, like unmatched in years past. Like people are here, they don't have the option to go easy, which like you appreciate for the people that are like, we don't want the option anyways. Like, and just like the coaching staff, like that's what they're about. And like having a coaching staff that backs you up on like, yeah, like we're doing hard stuff, whether you guys like it or not. And I think I give like our coaching staff so much credit, because I feel like often from what I've experienced is like everywhere, just growing up in sports, is with girls teams, a lot of coaches are like, you guys all have to be best friends and hold hands and like sing kumbaya type stuff. Well, this coaching staff is like, we want you guys to all be friends. We want to help each of you grow any way we can. Like they're so invested on each player on the roster, not who they think is going to start, on every single player. They're invested in them. And then it's like, but at the end of the day, if you guys aren't going to buy in and aren't going to care, even though we want you to how bad, like we're going to leave you behind. And like that, and like as like that might sound cutthroat, but that's the standard. And like that has really encouraged a lot of people. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna just collect Farley and like pull them over and make our own. No, you can't. Like our standard is up here. We're gonna enforce it up here, and you're gonna meet it up here, or else like you're gonna get left behind. And on like fortunately on this team, no one's getting left behind. And it's been a really cool thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that makes me want to run through a wall. Like just hearing you both. And the amazing thing is like you guys are doing this work, like I mentioned, in fall, in winter. You're creating these standards, as you said, that people are meeting through workouts, through training, through, team bonding. How much do you feel that is just going to elevate your play come next weekend? Like, are you both just so excited to see it play out on the field, knowing the work you've done these last few months on and off the field?
Yeah. I've been ready for this for a couple months now. Like just so excited to get on the field and see how it's all going to play out. As there always is, there's always difficulties that come with season. I mean, season has a little wear and tear, but I honestly truly believe that this team is so mentally grounded and ready to achieve our goals that we've set and ready to attack. And I feel like I honestly can say, like, if there's someone on the bench, like I know she has my best interest out there and is rooting me on and like trying to uplift people around them to make them better. I honestly don't think that there's been like selfishness like at all, which I think can be a huge detriment to a team. So just rallying together. I'm so excited to get on the field. We've got some good high competition coming up. So
yeah, everyone keeps asking me, they're like, "Are you guys being good this year?" I'm like, "We're gonna find out that second weekend in Clearwater real quick." No, I'm kidding. But honestly, like we have such a competitive schedule, like definitely the most competitive one that since we've been here,
yeah.
and probably ever. It's just crazy, and like I'm so grateful that like 2K says it. She's like, how do you expect to be the best if you won't play the best? Exactly. And like I love the mentality. Like she's not gonna back down from anybody. We're not gonna back down from anybody. I'm actually excited, like, and we talked about it a lot. Like Ohio State softball really isn't on too many people's radar. Like it's not like this big thing when you hear Ohio State softball. Like it's not like. It's like, oh, okay, your football team won the national championship. But like 2K's mentality is basically like, and it's rubbed off on all of us. It's like, we want Ohio State softball to be like, this is Ohio State softball. And like, it took all this year and it's going to continue to take some time. But like, I'm so excited for this year because it's like, there's 20 girls on this team, 2021. We got a mid-year transfer. But we got 21 girls on this team that are like ready to go, like not don't want to back down. We like that no one's worried about us because you know what, we're gonna show up and we're gonna show out either way because like we're worried about ourselves, not the other team. So I'm just excited to be part of a team that's so hungry and like I couldn't tell you the starting lineup at all because there's just everybody is so competitive at every single practice to get better and hungry to get better and like bought in and like it's just such a competitive environment that you just excel in it because like. Everyone pushes you every day because everyone's trying to get better.
Yeah.
And when I look at your guys' schedule, I look at it as like these amazing opportunity of knowing where you rank against the best of the best right away, because then you have 40 games to either grow from there, learn from that, and continue competing against the best of the best now that you have that here in the Big Ten Conference. And as we wrap up, you said something about how Ohio State has never been on other people's radar. Well, I want you to put it on their radar now. So I want you both to answer to me, why Ohio State softball?
Love that. Why now?
Yeah, we did talk about this actually the other day. Like the why us, why now may come into your head, but it's like, why not us? Like, why not now? Like, brand new coaching staff. I mean, we only had 11 returners. So, I mean, we have 10 new girls. So, like, almost a brand new team. So, it's like, why not us? Like, why not show out? Why not show up? Like,
yeah. And
you can do anything. Like, you can, like,
yeah. And they, like, asked us all to answer that question. Like, what comes to your mind when you think, like, why us? Why now? I'm like, well, why now is easy. We're a senior. We got 1 year left. And like I was telling the team, I'm like, we got 1 year left. I'm like, the saddest thing I've seen through this program is girls who regret not putting enough time in to have the success they want, and then also be so worried about when playing time starts to come up. I mean, that's when you really see what the foundation that you've built is when the first lineup gets announced. We've seen it for 3 years now. And so like I'm fairly confident that not everyone's going to be in the role they want to be in. But at the end of the day, like 2K has made us all feel everybody is going to have the same level of impact on this team. If you're wearing Ohio State jersey, you have the option to impact this team for the better, being here, like right now, right here. And all of us are bought into that. And yeah, like every girl works super hard. Every girl deserves to be out there. But like talent-wise, it's going to be the best of the best. Like 2K is going to play the best players to give us the chance to win. And I think that's super cool that like we get to be a part of a team that's that competitive and has that standard. And then every day of practice, we're going to watch girls that continue to compete, to strive, because like that first lineup, I guarantee isn't going to be the one that's at the end of the season. You know what I mean? And like, I'm confident that these girls know that, you know, like we've dug out roles. We've got so many things for girls to commit to, like for if you're not playing, if you're not in the starting lineup, and if you're in the starting lineup, like we've got so many things for you to commit to help this team get better. And I think everyone's going to be bought in is what I would like to hope, but seeing how close this team is and like how much this team, it just wants Ohio State softball to win, like not them. We've never talked once about individual awards. We've never talked once about personal stats. Every goal we've ever talked about has been what Ohio State softball can do this year. And I just think that's kind of the mentality that our girls are going to take into the season.
If you can't tell, she's the inspirational speaker.
Yeah, are you going to coach? Are you going to give motivation talks?
Right,
I mean, come be my morning alarm clock, please. Like.
Exactly.
I'm just passionate about it, man. I love it. And being around, like Farley loves it. Like being around players who just really love the game and a coaching staff that really loves it. Like it's been really, and I know like I'm a talker, but like Farley can talk about it too. Like just like the passion that people play with this year and the coaching staff. Like I'm a talker.
As you should, but that's when the true passion speaks. And if there's anything I've learned from both of you guys, I can confidently say there's something special brewing right now on your guys' campus and within your team. That is evident on all three of your faces here. And I know Big Ten, I'm fired up to see it. The nation is all able to see it now. As you two take your field and just apply everything, I feel like you've poured your heart and soul into not only these 4 years, but specifically these last few months as you two really are rewriting the narrative around Ohio State softball. And I'm just so honored you both came on here today to chat about it, because I'm fully bought in now. I'm tapped in. I'm excited to watch you guys this season. It's going to be something special.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome, and good luck opening season. And once again, Ohio State softball, we have Kaitlyn and Cammie. And if you're not already fired up listening to them here, you have to watch, tune in, show up at Ohio State. I mean, we have over 400 people right now. The number keeps growing the more Cammie keeps preaching. So that's all I'm concerned about. I love it. But you two, congrats on everything, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Day one of Softball America Big Ten Media Days. Get ready, because tomorrow we have 7 teams, and we are going to continue going through until we hit all 17 teams. Each one so special with their own unique story. And team, once again, Ohio State, and have a great rest of your night.